questioning everything today. Cynthia Concordia, life coach and manifestation specialist, if I may say it myself. She helps create awareness so that you're empowered to live the life of your dreams. Cynthia, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Greg. And it's always an honor to be part of your show. Thank you.
I'm just grateful to have you on here. I remember meeting you in James's program as well as I don't know if the viewers are kind of catching the theme here, but there's a lot of fellow coaches coming on my show.
Yes.
But you in particular, I've seen a lot of growth in the last, it hasn't even been a full year yet, has it?
No, not yet.
Not yet. I have seen so much growth. If I would have asked you a year ago to come on the show, you would have froze, and I would have thought that you were frozen because of Zoom, but you would have literally been.
Exactly.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about how you manifested this new Cynthia that you are today. Cynthia 3.0 now? Are we on 3.0? Or are we just 2.0 right now?
2.0.
2.0. Okay.
Well, I'm glad that because that's what I'm trying to, that's my niche, manifesting your dreams. And for me, when I retired from the bank, from the World Bank, I told myself, there's something missing in my life. I thought when I retired, I'll be just traveling, enjoying myself, going to the gym, but there's something missing. And when I did some self-reflection, I know that I have a purpose in life. God created me because he wanted me to be an instrument for his mission as well. And that's what I've been trying to research on. And I'm glad I saw this life coaching ad at Facebook. Never have I clicked on any life coaching thing. That's why that was my first time to see that in my Facebook account. So when I tried looking at it and I told myself, oh my, this is what I want to do. Because back home, even when I was in high school, my classmates would always tell me, Cynthia, they call me Mother Hen. And whenever there's a problem, Mommy Cynthia, there's a problem. May I ask for some advice and so on. And when I was at the bank, at the World Bank, I used to coach my colleagues in terms of their career growth. How was I able to break the glass ceiling from an admin staff to an HR analyst, to an analyst position? And that's what they've been working on. And that was also my objective before. It took me years before I was able to break that ceiling. And when I did the program and I got certified as a life coach, I told myself, this is really what I want to do. And now I'm trying to help those who are experiencing or struggling with their limiting beliefs, with their blockages, that stops them from moving forward to manifest their dream. And all of us, we have our challenges in life. So, and I've experienced that as well, that those limiting beliefs.
Wow. Cynthia, do you remember? I'm sorry, I'm taken aback right now. I'm really in awe of the growth because I remember when James first asked us to do the live.
Yes.
And the way you were just, I don't know if I can do this. And here you are speaking so clearly and articulately and concise and clear, and you have your story. It's all here. It was always there. You've just brought it out. So I wanted to ask a couple questions. Sorry, I just wanted to note that you've grown exponentially.
Thank you so much.
So you've basically been a life coach your entire life. You've been the mother hen and motivating.
Yes.
I can relate to that. I've been Uncle Greg since I was 4.
Oh, okay, good. So all your nephews and nieces are always there following you. That's great.
Everyone's kids. Kids love me. I don't know why.
Mhm. Same here.
So,
I'm also close to my nephews, my niece, my children,
aw,
and I just don't know why as well. Probably there's this certain aura in us, no?
yes, yes. It's the
And that,
childlike, the ability to remain childlike,
yes,
to still have the wonder and the fun and the curiosity and gratitude.
yes.
Now, don't get me wrong, not every kid is grateful, but for the most part, kids are really appreciative of what they have.
Yes.
Now, do you find it harder? Sorry, let's scale this back a little bit. So
Mhm.
your story was that you retired and felt that something was missing. And as you did some self-reflection, you found that your purpose was to help other people. That's at the end here. That's retirement.
Yes.
What led up to this? What was the you've been the mother hen the whole time. So what is the inspiration? What was that point where you realized you were helping other people and that's just who you were?
Probably the child, what I've experienced, the the challenge I've experienced when I was in my dark bubble for 6 years.
Mm.
And that was, well, I was married for 23 years and I have 2 children. My eldest daughter is 30 now, 30 years old, and my son is 24. And I've been subjected to domestic abuse, domestic violence. And I have convinced that was since 5 months old when my daughter was 5 months back home in the Philippines. And the reason I convinced my husband to come over here to the Philippines, to the US, is to give our children better opportunities. And that's always the objective, that dream of each parent back home in the Philippines. Not only that, I want to have a more meaningful and deep relationship with my husband. I love him so much. However, when we came here, he was in 2 restraining orders. The first one, I initiated it. It was a 72-hour temporary restraining order. And then the second one, after 11 years, he was on 2-year permanent restraining order. And it was my daughter who initiated the call because he was hitting my son. However, during those 2-year period, restraining order period, I've been reminding my children, you know what? Your, your dad loves you so much. He still wants to connect with you. And we are all humans, we commit mistakes. And we all deserve a second chance. And the moment they invited him after the restraining order, they invited him for to attend their graduation, college and high school. I was so delighted because I know the forgiveness issue is taking place in our family. And after 4 months, it so happened that my husband passed away, died due to a massive cardiac arrest. When I saw him at the trauma room, it was so hard for me to accept because we were not able to communicate. We were not able to resolve our issues. We were not able to forgive each other. I was still hoping that we could still get back together as one happy family. And that's the thing. The problem is we were blocked by his family as well. And that made me feel guilty because it's like I killed my husband. And because of the stress, I was in my dark bubble for 6 years. And I told I stopped connecting. I stopped socializing. I stopped interacting with my friends because of fear. Fear of being judged, fear of being rejected, fear that I was a failure as a mom and as a wife. However, that was the time that I stopped taking care of myself due to depression. No, but when my son asked me, "Mommy, will I be going to college?" That was after a few months after he graduated from high school, and I forgot about my responsibility for my son because I was only thinking about myself, and I told myself, "Oh my, I don't see any value in living my life because of the guilt that I was carrying." But when he asked me about going to college, and I asked him, "Where would you like to go? Where would you like to study?" When he chose Culinary Institute of America in New York, I know it's a good school, but I never knew that it was at a very expensive school. And when I did a research on that, I told him, "Oh my, I won't be able to afford it. I'm a single earner, a single parent." So we tried checking other schools. I could see that there's no, I could sense that in his face, on his face, he was not happy. So I told him, "Where would you really like to study?" When he said, "Mommy, if it's possible, CIA, that would be great. And I will make sure that you'll be proud of me." And when he mentioned that, I told myself that I've created a dream for me that was a dream by design, because it's a very expansive expansive dream, which I have never thought that I could create for myself. Because I used to create my dream by default, wherein I was constricted by past experiences, how I was raised, the paradigms, and everything. But here I was able to create that dream by design, because that dream was also the dream of my son. That was the time that I took care of my health and well-being. I started going to the gym, started eating nutritious food. I started connecting with people, getting positive energy. And that positive energy was transmitted to me, and I was able to transmit it to other people. That's why I was able to meet new friends, had better relationship with my mom, with my sisters, with my children. And it gave me more confidence in performing well at my job. And that was the time when I got promoted. When I got promoted, I immediately allocated that salary increase for his tuition. And then during that time, God, you know what? The only thing that I was holding on was my Lord and Savior. He was always there, who gave me support and help, who gave me hope. And God even sent me people, connections, who gave me advice or insights. Why won't you downsize? So I listened. I sold my 3-bedroom townhouse to a 1-bedroom apartment. And it cut 50% of my monthly mortgage. And again, that went to my son's tuition. And then the last one was, someone advised me, "Why won't you apply for grants and scholarships?" I didn't know about those resources because I was on a G4 visa, an employee of international organization. So it's not a green card or whatever. But I'm glad that my son was a US citizen, so he was able to avail of those benefits. We only paid 20% of his first year's tuition fee. I will share with you how much his tuition fees are, not to brag, but to share with you how I was able to manifest from zero to sending or letting him finish college. First year's tuition was 50,000. second and third year tuition fees are 60,000 each. Where will I get that money? But I was able to manifest that dream. Not money per se, but connections. People who gave advice, people who gave insights, gifts also, but not so much on that, but because of the friends, the support that I've had. Not only did he finish college, we only also had extra money to go to Barcelona as a family to celebrate his success. And I would like to share with you the impact of that dream to his dream. Not only did he finish college, culinary arts and food studies, but he was able to work for the 2-3 Michelin star restaurants, travel to Tulum and work there, Australia. But when he came back here, he became a farmer because the restaurants, the food industry got impacted. But when I asked him, I know there was a big impact in the cut in his salary pay. And he said, and I asked him, what can you say about the cut in your paycheck? He told me, Mommy, it was another exposure for me. So now he is promoting local produce, local farmers. And now he is educating children to plant, to harvest, to pack, because he works in a farm. And then he teaches parents to cook what type of food that they can prepare based from the local produce. He is now encouraging or advocating sustainability in the food industry. And that's what I'm happy. Not only did it, my dream became more expansive, became really more from what is expected, no? From the first time I created my dream. And it's creating a ripple effect now. My dream to my son and to the children that he's teaching.
I'm speechless. I thought I knew your story. And I find out more about you every time we talk. $50,000 and $60,000 tuition. I'm over here worried about how I'm going to pay for my daughter's $15,000 a semester, and I'm like,
see,
double.
Exactly. It's like buying a house.
But the manifestation, it is actually buying a house 20 years ago anyway. Not now. Or at least not here. The manifestation portion, I love that you're bringing that up. I've been seeing a lot about manifestation. There's a lot, and I think it's just because I'm aware of it now. I didn't know I was doing it. But do you feel like manifestation can work both ways, good and bad? Like you can manifest the life, the life of your nightmares and the life of your dreams?
Oh yes, it depends on how you think. It depends on the thoughts that because where your attention goes, energy goes. So whatever is in your mind, that becomes a reality. But when I focus on my dream, I made sure that all my action steps are geared towards my dream. So if your mind is always telling you, I won't be able to manifest it, I'm hopeless, I live a miserable life, then the universe will respond to you that way.
Absolutely true.
Yes.
I love getting your take on this. I want to dig a little deeper into all that you've said. So the one thing I wanted to point out that really almost made me start tearing up, this will be like the third time I've cried on my podcast. Speaking highly of your kid's father, even after, almost in spite of, living through domestic abuse, because you didn't want the kids to harbor the resentment.
Yes.
Now, that 6-year dark bubble, was that before he passed or after or before this?
Actually, from the time there was this separation because of the um, restraining order.
Okay. Okay.
That
So,
was the time, and then 3 years grieving. So almost 3 years during the time that we were having this domestic violence. He was out of the house because of the restraining orders. And then 3 years after grieving, after his death, while grieving.
I'm really sorry to hear that. I know I've heard that before, and I couldn't imagine. I was married for 12 years, and even though it was we were abusive to each other, but I was the domestic abuse guy, the abuser. Sorry, I had a title, domestic abuse guy. No, I was the abuser in the relationship, but we both we were trapped in this cycle. Even then, I couldn't imagine that person passing. So I could only imagine like finally getting things right again and then that happening. What I wanted to touch on with that forgiveness. Forgiveness is huge. Do you think that you can manifest the life of your dreams if there's something that you haven't forgiven?
If I haven't forgiven, no.
Talk to us
That's
about
the
that.
main that's the main reason why I was able to manifest my dream. Because I freed myself, I forgiven the people. Actually, forgiveness is all about yourself. It's freeing yourself from resentment, from anger, from the pain you have experienced. And I told myself, past is past. While my husband was on restraining order, actually, I have forgiven him already. And I was expecting that hoping that he comes back home to have a new chapter in our life, a new family, happy family. But when for my in-laws, his family, I have forgiven them. I wish them all well and I bless them. Of course, I don't condone the situation, the action. But forgiveness is about the situation is different from the individual. And I love that person, my husband. That's why I stayed with him for 23 years, hoping that I'll be able to help change. Because I know this comes back every now and then, but it has to stop. Because I want to tell my children, hey, I don't want you to see this or do this when you have your own family. And this is not a normal thing. And that was the time that they also realized that, hey, this is bad. And now even my children are supporting. We're now supporting each other. Before I used to hear them say shouting to each other, the siblings, no, the brothers and sisters. But now I could see them supporting one another, and that's what I love.
Isn't that beautiful how that comes full circle?
Yes, I'm. It's just bad that this had to happen, but there's always a reason. For me, there's a reason behind it, and I'm thankful. I'm grateful that there's something, a new thing, a transformation, a change that happened in our lives. Yeah. Not only for me, and for also for my children.
It is so hard to get people to see that holding on to resentment could very well be the reason for their misery. There's no such thing as a justified resentment.
Yes.
Now, your son creating his dream. Now, I know like what you said. You saw my smile. I lit up when you said it. Where focus goes, energy flows.
Yes.
If you're focused on your dream, can you imagine with me for a second here? If I'm just focused on what's in front of me, the energy's just going there.
Mhm.
If I'm focused on my dream, all of that energy is picking us up like a big gust of wind to take us to our dream, as long as we keep our focus on that dream.
Yes.
By helping your son to create the dream, it kind of carried you into where you are now.
Yes.
So if I was to ask, what are three things that you would tell people, three steps you would give people to manifesting the life of their dream?
The three things that first we have, it is us who shape our life. We can create our own dream and we have that power. What is within us or within you is greater than anything outside of you. Remember that, because I've remembered, according to Soren Kierkegaard, our life always expresses the result of our dominant thoughts. So whatever we think, it will happen. And I know it will happen because it happened to me. And the only thing that stops us from manifesting our dreams are our limiting beliefs, our blockages, our doubts, our fears, our worries. Those are the things that stand in our way. Or probably we have tried our best several times and yet failed to make our dreams a reality, but failure is part of success. And any successful businessman experience failure, mistakes, because they learn from their failure. They learn from their mistakes. And then another thing is that you can create a dream by design, not by default. We are used to creating our dreams by default, being constricted by our past experiences, our paradigms. We always tell ourselves, oh, that was the dream of my parents. I should be creating that dream the same as my parents. Oh, no. You can create your own dream in a more expansive way. And that is by design. And try to visualize yourself in that dream. I visualize myself and my son in my dream. I could see my son being successful, a successful chef, but right now he changed his, he really didn't want to be a chef, but he want to be an advocator for sustainability.
And in a way, he's still a chef.
Yes, he's still a chef.
He's just cooking up something different. He's cooking up motivation, inspiration, education. Yeah, sorry.
Yes. But actually, he's still a chef because he comes up with pop-up dinners. And that's what he plans. He wants to travel by road from east to west and visit different communities and see what they produce, and then come up with pop-up dinner and invite the community, and he will cook for them. Something like that. That's what he's planning.
That is so cool. I've had a few friends that were chefs that wanted to do pop-ups, and
yeah,
I'm still thinking about kind of just doing that 1 year, just take a year off and go travel and cook for people. That would be fun.
Oh yes. And by the way, I would like to share with you another opportunity or his manifestation when he participated in the Battle of the Voltagios Brothers. That was shown at Disney Plus, Disney Discovery Plus, and now at Food Network every Sunday at 10 p.m. It started last Sunday.
So your son's, what was the show called?
Battle of the Brothers.
So your son's on a show?
See, that's another opportunity which I didn't see before. That's why when you go out of your comfort zone, if I didn't go out of my comfort zone because of that fear, where those opportunities will not be will not will not be present, and he will not be able to see those opportunities.
The comfort zone is the place where dreams go to die. So I imagine in your practice, as the person that helps manifest dreams, you are getting people out of their comfort zones all the time.
Oh yes, I'm the one pushing. But you know what? That fear, when you go out of your fear is your partner, should be embraced as your partner. But he should be seated, that fear can be seated beside you at the passenger seat while you're still holding on to your steering wheel, driving towards your destination, and that is your dream. And your fear will just push you to make you uncomfortable. Why are you uncomfortable? Because he's challenging you. When he's challenging you, that means you're going out of your comfort zone, learning something new. And when you're learning something new, you're growing and you're thriving. And that's where the opportunities are waiting outside your comfort zone. They're all there waiting for you.
Luck is when opportunity meets preparation. So I got recognize your greatness inside, create your life by design rather than by default, which is, I believe, every coach's mantra is we are helping people to design their lives.
Mhm.
I've heard that before at a program I went to named Pathways, and it was createagreatlife.org. But they didn't tell you anything that you were going into. They asked a lot of questions, and it really got people out of their comfort zone in so many ways before they even entered. And then once they were in, it was like, I can't even tell you. It's something you just have to experience. But the basis of it is finding that inner child, finding that person that you already are inside, healing the wounds, and then sending you back in the world, learning how to design your life. Because if you don't manage your life, something or someone will.
Yes.
So if you're not taking control of the steering wheel, fear will. And when fear gets a hold of the steering wheel, I love this analogy. So fear is, like you said, it's your friend. Emotions are like children.
Mhm.
You don't want to let them drive the car, but you also don't want to stuff them in the trunk.
Mhm.
So when you said fear can sit next to you in the car seat, I'd beg to say that fear would probably have to go in the back seat to drive you, right? Because then it's whispering in your ear, turn around, slow down, don't do this, don't do that. And anytime you hear those voices telling you not to, I don't know about you, but when someone tells me I can't or I won't, I do.
You do the opposite.
Yes. Yes. Like, oh, I can't do that? Watch me.
Oh.
And I was listening to, I want to say it's Gretchen Rubin. A friend told me about her. She's an author and she talks about being happy. And she mentions these 4 types of people that the way you deal with rules, the way you respond to rules, is how you respond to rules internally and externally. So if you're an obliger and you go by the rules, or you're a person that makes up the rules because the rules are needed, you'll be that way for yourself and for others. But there's the type of people that they're so adhering to rules for other people and other things, but they can't do it for themselves. And then there's the rebels, where even if I was to set a rule on myself, I would defy it. So I have to do reverse psychology on myself. I have to tell myself the exact opposite or get really mad in order to fuel that energy. Now, you said 2 things, sorry, and I took it left. Let's come back. Recognize your greatness inside, create your life by design rather than by default. What would be the third thing?
Get rid of the limiting beliefs. Those are the blockages that stops you from manifesting your dream.
Give me
your
an
limiting
example
beliefs,
of
your blockages, fears, doubts.
Give me an example of a limiting belief for those of them that are listening or watching that don't Never heard of a limiting belief. I didn't hear of a limiting belief until
Mhm.
2012.
Aha. Those are that I am not capable of. I don't have the education. I don't have the skill set. I don't have the ability. I'm too old for that. Uh, I, like me, it's only, it was 2020 when I really discovered by a clear discovered a clear the clear purpose, my clear purpose.
Mm.
And I'm glad that I was able to discover that. I'm already old. I'm 60 years old. That was 50, 58, 59 when I discovered it.
Wow.
And now when I discovered, I had to take action so that I will be able to, to make the change of,
Yeah.
or manifest my purpose or achieve what is my mission in life here. So nothing is old or too young. We can all do if we want to do it, if we have that willpower, if you're willing, if you're willing to take action to make that change.
Absolutely. I just, have you ever heard of Neville Goddard?
Excuse me, that?
The guy, so he's big on the law of attraction and manifestation. He's one of the godfathers of it in
Yes.
like that kind of helped start the movement. Now, don't get me wrong. Everything that we're doing today has been written in the big book.
Mhm.
And the reason that it's so timeless and that it transcends everything is because there's principles at the core. But I posted a quote earlier on this very thing that you're talking about, those limiting beliefs. You are infinitely greater than you could ever conceive yourself to be.
Yes.
Everything that we need is already inside of us. We already know everything that we will ever need to know. And it's so funny. It's all been there since before conception.
Mhm.
In a tiny sperm cell, everything that you are was coded into that. Can you just imagine the
Wow.
difference in size between that and the universe?
Oh, wow.
The only thing keeping us where we are is our thoughts. Like that
Yes.
is our, it's like the steering wheel. We're driving all the time and we can drive wherever we want. We actually don't even have to drive. We can fly. It's just
Mm.
us believing that we can't fly or that we don't have enough gas or that you don't know
Mhm.
how to drive, right?
Yes.
Metaphorically.
Yes.
Now, there's a question here. Is there a mantra, quote, or saying that has inspired you along your path, or one that, like, when you heard it, it just blew your mind? And it doesn't have to be one, it could be a couple. I love to ask this because I love quotes. Words are powerful. Mine was do one thing every day that scares you. Eleanor Roosevelt. And as I applied that to my life and started breaking through all the fear that I didn't even realize I had, it it morphed into, if anything scares me, I'm going to face it head on so that nothing stands in my way. Because once you break through fear, which is a mile wide and a mile high, but it's only paper thin, once you bust through it, everything else is just muscle memory because it's never going to be as scary as the first time.
Mhm.
So that was my quote. Is there a quote, mantra, or saying something that resonated with you?
I actually follow Mother Teresa of Calcutta. It is more on, she always delves or focus on love, and that's why when I connect with people, it is more on showing compassion, showing love, showing kindness, and that's the reason why my vision, my vision is to spread sunshine and happiness to the people I meet, so that this will create a ripple effect, and peace, love, compassion, joy, happiness will always prevail here on earth. And that's what I want to achieve. And that's my vision. It's like living in heaven.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. And for me, it's a small thing, showing compassion, even a smile can. I always like your smile. Because you don't know what smile can do for that person.
Yeah.
That person might be having a hard time, and that could help him or lift him up.
Yeah.
Even my daughter was telling me whenever we walk, "Oh, mommy, why do you do you know that person?" "No." "Why do you smile at him or her?" "Why? Is there a problem?" "Because there's no problem smiling to other people, because look, when you smile at them, they smile back. And when you leave, for example, when you leave and they go on their own, I'm sure that will be their attitude towards other people as well, smiling. And that's what I want to create, a ripple effect.
That's powerful, and it's true, and it goes back to that focus with energy. Energy is basically all that is ever constant.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that the energy is divine, and we are masters meant to direct the energy, but energy doesn't die, it only transfers.
Yes.
And especially for those of us that are thermometers that can, no, thermostats that can set the temperature in a room.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else, like the people that have that high vibration, that are able to manifest because of that faith, because of the way that they believe, are able to change the entire trajectory of anyone's lives that they cross paths with. Now, I was just looking at this Mother Teresa quote, the one that is apparently the most famous, because I've seen it before. I've seen this on posters, and I just looking at it at a glance, I see that your practice embodies this. People are often unreasonable and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you're kind, people may accuse you of ulterior motives. Be kind anyway.
Yes.
If you're successful, you'll win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway.
Yes.
If you're honest, people may cheat you. Be honest anyway. What you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway.
Yes.
Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give your best anyway.
Yes.
You see, in the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway.
Yes.
I just got the chills. I've heard it before, I've seen it before, but
yes,
these kind of things carry a principle underneath them, and the principle here is kindness, love, right? Everything we do is out of one of two emotions, or motivated by one of two things, love or fear.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen for yourself where fear has got you in your life, dark bubble, and you've also seen where love can get you, and that is what keeps you going.
Yes.
Is there anything that you do you have, because we all have our times where we're not roses and daisies, right?
Oh, yes.
What do you do to counteract that negativity when that comes?
Well, there are people that I encounter that that projects negativity, but you know what? I would tell, like for example, a family member, when they mentioned to me that, why are you investing so much in this life coaching? And then I told them, well, this is the only time for me to invest in myself. And I would like to make sure that when I invest in myself, it would benefit others. And it will, dealing with elders, they have a fixed mindset. And it will be hard for me to explain to her. And there will be friction for sure. But what I did, I continued doing what I'm doing, what I love to do. And I've discovered that actually my mom, her ex-colleague at work would always like my post and would even call my mom, say, hey, I like what your daughter is doing. He's
That's
creating so much, she's creating so much impact to other people. So I stopped arguing, but I'll just do my action and let other people say tell her the impact of what I'm doing to them. I don't have to argue with her anymore. Just the
I
action.
I love that because it's almost like anything in life that you chase or try to hold on to or try to make happen, you almost make the exact opposite happen. You have to let go and let it flow, right?
Yes.
Money, love, happiness, it's all something that it's already there. You just have to be who you are and be that person that attracts that stuff
Yeah.
in order to project it. And I can relate to what you're saying because me and my mom didn't have a really good relationship growing up. It was just
Mhm.
not affectionate. And not to say that it wasn't good, she showed her love in other ways. But there was a lot of resentment for me because I looked like my father. My father hurt her
Uh-huh.
pretty bad. And getting myself out of the trouble that I got myself in as a kid, we won't even go into that. That's a whole other
Uh-huh.
episode. But
Uh-huh.
now, from where we were to me making empty promises and just creating a really bad reputation for myself to where I am now, coaching and helping other people, and like you said, continuing to do what I do anyway and letting them find the impact. It gets back around to her a lot. She gets to see it in
Mhm.
my kids. She gets to see it with my siblings. And
Yes.
I'm not having to force it. I'm just
Yes.
being me authentically, making the impact that I know I can make without seeking the validation. Because sometimes we want that validation from our
Mhm.
parents.
Yes.
We want them to tell us that we're good enough or that they're proud of us.
Yes.
And I spent half of my life seeking that. And when I realized that it didn't matter was when I had this long, beautiful hair. It's back now, but it was beautiful, and she hated it. She wished I would shave it. And one day I was living with her I was back in her house. I was 25, and I just decided one day I'd been sitting like literally hanging out in the barber shop for what reason I don't know. And I
Oh.
decided to get a haircut.
Oh.
And I shaved it all the way off.
Oh.
And I put on a beanie and I waited for her to get home. I was excited. I'm like, she's going to be so proud of me. She's going to love me. Everything's going to be
Uh-huh.
great. And she opens my door and she doesn't say anything at first. And then she shuts the door. And I'm like,
No
what?
reaction.
So no reaction. So I call her back in the room. What? I take off my beanie and she's like, huh, and walks out.
Oh.
Huh? That's it? All these years of you being so angry with me for having long hair and telling me I'm never going to be anything or no one's ever going to hire me because of my hair, all of that. And all I got was, huh? That's when I knew I had to stop seeking the outside validation. That's when it started with me realizing that I did that.
Mhm.
I'd love to say that that was the last time I seeked outside validation, but it went on for another 5 or 6 years after that. Now,
And then from that time on, you started growing again your hair because that's what you want. No?
I actually kept it short for 5 years just to see if what she was saying was true. And I was more successful. I felt better about myself. But it was because I don't know if you know or if this happens to you, but when my hair doesn't look right or I'm not groomed, I don't feel good.
Of
So
course.
there would be times where I just couldn't get my hair done or it'd be itching and my attitude followed. But
Mhm.
with having short hair, I had nothing to take care of. I could just wake up in the
Uh-huh.
morning, brush my hair, if that, because sometimes you didn't need to. And I tried all sorts of different little hairstyles, growing it out. It felt good. So I left it like that for a while. It got a lot of attention. I felt motivated.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it had to do with the hair as much as people were telling me that they would feel better about me. And I was trying to please them.
Please them. Mhm.
And to see everyone start to give compliments with the short hair, I mean, people compliment you no matter what. It's just a different set of people. Some people love long hair, some people love short hair. I think it's just that, like you said, there's people that reinforcement, being in community. We cannot get very far alone. We can go fast, but we cannot go far.
Mhm.
I went off on a tangent here, but
Sometimes, sometimes we we uh, we stop because we're worried about what other people would say. That's another fear
yes.
of being judged. And now, before I used to have that problem,
Mhm.
but now I told myself, hey, I'm Cynthia. I know what I'm worth. I know my value. And whatever I do, I know it's good. It would benefit others. It would excite me. It would make me grow. It is in alignment with God's plan. If I have all those answers, yes, a yes. So that means my dream is a yes factor.
Mm.
So it's not really, I don't care what other people would say. It's just a matter, I will proceed with what I want in my life. And then if they don't like it, I can't do anything.
It was never
I'll just,
between you and them anyway.
yes. Yes. It,
I love that. And the day you start living is the day you stop worrying about what other people think about you.
Mhm.
It's so freeing to know that life doesn't have to be hard.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, if life is hard, you're doing it wrong.
Mhm.
It has to flow. And do you find that manifesting is a lot easier when it's in line with the divine path or divine
Yeah,
purpose?
exactly. And life is not a competition. You have each one of us, we have our own journey to take.
No,
And
it's always a
what we
competition. I'm better than
know.
you.
We just enjoy that life. That's it.
Yes, it's not a competition. I'm sorry. I had to get you. I knew you wouldn't be expecting that.
Yes. Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
is there a question that you believe everybody should be asking themselves?
How does it feel manifesting your dream right now? How would you feel manifesting your dream? So it is up to you now if you want to create the dream that you want to create, to create the life you want to live. So it really depends on you.
That's powerful. Let me tell you why I see it's powerful. Where focus goes, energy flows. We talked about this
Mhm.
multiple times today. And
Yes.
by asking that question, how would you feel manifesting your dream? Not stopping there, right now.
Yes. Uh-huh.
It puts you in that state. And Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. You have to change your state. We did this earlier. I'm scared. That doesn't feel good. It brings an energy that you don't like, that paralyzes you. But if I say I'm excited, it's the same exact energy. It's just that one paralyzes you and one mobilizes you. That's the power of thoughts and energy in the moments. We have the power to change our state any moment we want to. If we're focused on something that happened that was painful, or something that someone did that was wrong, or a bad time, we are going to feel the exact same way we did then. So by asking this question, you're changing someone's state to get them in the mode of, if I achieved my dream right now, I would feel like this. And you just see them come alive.
Exactly.
I just came alive because I'm envisioning mine right now. I'm like, ooh.
and it impacts the 4 domains of our life: our health and well-being, our love and relationships, our vocation, our job or career, our purpose in life, and our time and money freedom. Everything is connected. When you create your dream, you start with the health and well-being. It for sure, your mental, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being will be taken care of. You will feel happy. You will transmit so much positive energy because you feel good about yourself.
Yeah,
you
that's
exercise.
very true. Yeah.
And when you feel good, you're able to connect well with people because you're confident.
Yeah.
You're able to attract.
Trust me, I understand that.
Uh-huh.
I'm not perfect at implementing it because the gym is downstairs. And it's hot outside. I have all these excuses as to why I don't get in the gym, but I can feel the difference when I stop walking or moving my body. I'm in this control center most of my life now because we work from home, and I forget to take breaks every now and then.
Oh, see, before I always see you in your life post walking, taking a walk. I miss that.
I just thought about that the other day. I was like, I should just go live while I'm walking and talk about the thoughts that I have and coach on the go. I mean, yesterday, I actually started writing my book a different way. I used a transcription app and I told my story out loud. And I'm sure I looked like a crazy man walking around at 11 at night talking to myself, but I didn't care because if I try to sit and write the book, it doesn't come out. If I try to type it, I overthink. Every time I try to tell my story, it's like some part of me says, don't talk about that. Nobody wants to hear about that. But that is all I have to give is my story. If people don't like it, that's not my problem.
Exactly.
Because the people that do like it, they're going to magnetize to me. And they're going to be able.
Because we cannot please everyone.
Right. Right. I can't please everyone, and I'm done trying. I'm gonna by being authentic, we attract more of who we are and who vibe with us and who vibrate on our level, and we shake off the people that don't belong there, that we would have to people please to keep in our lives anyway. Why would you want to do that? I've done that. We've done that.
Yes.
Cynthia, this has been an amazing interview. I'm so glad to finally have you on the show. I feel like you were the first one that had asked about it or that we had talked about, and it feels like everyone's gone in front of you.
What? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? I asked. What do you mean by that?
You didn't ask me?
Did I ask you?
Did I ask you?
You asked me?
I asked you at first. I said, you got to get on the show. I think.
Yes.
It's been so long.
You asked
Okay.
me, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm so honored and privileged, and I'm so happy. I'm so glad that I've become part of this. You included me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, where can our people watching and listening, where can they find you?
Oh, they can just look for Cynthia Concordia at Facebook
Mm,
and LinkedIn, Cynthia Concordia.
okay.
And I have the website Dream to Rise dot info and
Dreamtorise.info.
that info.
Okay.
So that's it.
So dreamtorise.info, Cynthia Concordia on Facebook, Cynthia
Uh-huh.
Concordia on LinkedIn. And
LinkedIn.
I think
I
you're
don't have
forgetting something, Missy.
I don't have Instagram.
It's
I
okay.
think that's for the young kids. No,
It
that's a
is.
limiting belief.
That's a
No, that's
limiting belief, but it is.
exactly.
It's
But
true.
I don't have that because I know it's more on visuals. But I prefer to use Facebook, and I'm more comfortable posting on Facebook.
I understand that. The thing that
Uh,
I'm saying that you might be missing here, the most important part is
what?
getting these people into your community. Tell them a little bit about how to manifest
Hi,
their dreams.
manifest your dream community.
Yes, your Facebook group. It is, guys, if you're not in her Facebook group, you need to be. When I get the questions, because I love questions.
Uh-huh.
When I see your questions, they get me going in the right direction. Between you and all the other coaches that I have on my page, if I ever open up Facebook, I'm inspired. But in your group especially, I just
Uh-huh.
love to see what you're doing there. So thanks again.
It's Thank you. Thank you again.
Last question. You ready for
Mm,
this?
okay. You always have a lot of questions. Okay.
Question
Greg.
everything.
Yes. Okay,
Who,
Greg.
who are two people that you know that either have an interesting story like yours or that are crushing their goals in life that you'd love to see me interview on the show?
Oh, have you interviewed Daniel?
No, I think this is the second time he's been referred, though. I want to say
Yes,
Anya
Daniel.
referred him, but Daniel Robertson, okay, right?
Yes,
Robertson, okay.
yes, Daniel Robertson. And I'm sure he has a lot of things to share as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Daniel's
don't
another good one.
uh-huh. And your dog, you were able to interview Dog and Debbie and
Debbie, yeah.
who else? From the group?
I've interviewed Amy. Well, it could be from anywhere. It just happens to be that people in the group are referring other people in the group. I want to say everyone said James, and I haven't got him on yet.
Uh-huh.
But he's busy. He's booked until like 2024 or something, right?
James, yes, James. So not yet? You haven't scheduled James yet?
Not yet. We're working on it.
Uh-huh. And James would be good. Great, would be great. And I think we he interviewed me and I should be interviewing him as well.
I remember that. That was awesome. That was live too, wasn't it?
Yes. See, I was also that was my first interview with some I know the first one I had a podcast with Walim and
Okay.
I was really scared. Now I'm more comfortable and I didn't it was very spontaneous,
Yes.
the questions. And thank you for
Oh,
making
you're talking about here.
yes.
Oh, well, I
Thank you
ditched
for
the script.
yes, that's it.
No script. We just go with the flow because I mean,
Uh-huh. And you made me comfortable. You made me the real Cynthia who's not scared. And I love it. I love it, Greg.
oh,
Whenever I talk to you, oh, mine is like this.
oh yes. I'm using that as the thumbnail. Just on YouTube, it's gonna be this.
Yes, yeah. With matching.
That's
Is that
awesome.
showing? Okay. But thank you. I couldn't I don't know the others. I don't know if it's Emily also or Anya.
I've done
Anya.
Anya.
You've done Anya.
Yeah, so Emily's one I haven't. We're supposed to schedule something. She's on a way different time.
Okay, Emily.
Emily. Okay, so Emily and Daniel, I will tell them that you referred them.
Yes.
Until next time, folks, continue to question everything.
Yes.
Everything?
Everything.
All right.
Thank you so
See
much,
y'all
guys.
later. Everything.